Hi, my name is Łukasz Lisowski. I play viola in Malmö SymfoniOrkesters, and I would like to invite you to the Stauss and Bartók concert. The body cannot walk on the Danube. The mouth will never drink again from the glass, only from the crystal clear spring. With these words, Béla Bartók was saying goodbye to the life. But before I say happily, "Visi jest po konserten," I'd like to tell something more about the author and his viola concerto and the divertimento. Béla Bartók was born in 1881 in a small Hungarian village in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He came from a family with musical traditions and began learning piano with his mother at the age of 6. Unfortunately, premature death of his father made the whole family traveling from town to town. But despite that, Bartók continued learning piano with various teachers, making him able to deliver his first solo recital at the age of 11. The music of Richard Strauss, whose overture and dances to highly regarded Ariane of Naxos we will perform on the concert, Bartók met him in the very early beginning of 20th century at the Budapest premiere of Also sprach Zarathustra, the piece which strongly influenced his early work. During that time and onwards, Bartók performed a lot as a pianist. He taught and composed. Some of his pieces became scandalous, for example, Miraculous Mandarin Ballet. But what became his real passion was ethnomusicology. In order to find the very source of Hungarian folk music, he traveled throughout his own country, as well as Romania, Ukraine, Slovakia, parts of Russia, as well as Turkey. And Turkey was the very country he believed he has found the roots for Hungarian folk music. He came even to a conclusion that some of the tunes could be 1500 years old. His music vastly derived from the songs he described and archived. The multitude of modal scales, its interpenetration, sense of melodies, sensitivity to the colors, contrast, level of difficulties for various instruments, and the enormous energy emanating from his pieces, combined into an individual and unique style of his music. All of those you will hear in the viola concerto and the divertimento. Let me try to imagine his very first attempts to the viola piece. There are two scenarios. This was the first scenario. Very happy, imaginary composing, based on what's subconscious and conscious. But there's scenario number 2. Before I play, please imagine a staircase which is full of steps. They're usually equal, while the musical steps are not. In the Western classical music, 2 main scales are the major, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And the minor, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Folk scales in Central and Eastern Europe are a little bit different. There are few more half steps, and in order to keep the same distance between the first step and the last step, some of the whole tones, whole steps, became augmented. Here is the Bartók scale he started the viola concerto with. Whole, half, augmented, half, half, augmented, half. And the second scale whole step, half step, augmented, whole step, half step. And the third scale, that's very known pentatonic scale. And now let's start the concerto again. Scale number 2. Scale number 3. I believe that most of the great compositions of all genres are combining both of these scenarios. As for the divertimento, what seems most intriguing to me is how the composer changes the tempo within a short range of time. Imagine driving a car. The sign says speed 90, then 102, followed by 86, then 120. Everything within the length of 200 meters, let's say. Sometimes the tempo changes are so tiny, and we have to do the change immediately. Then you see a sign, speed number 1, which was, can you remember? It was 90. That's something that an ensemble has to internalize very quickly, as the piece can be performed with and without conductor. Bartók was deeply affected by the rapid growth of National Socialist ideology on the continent, including Hungary. And soon after the outbreak of the Second World War, he emigrated to the United States, hoping for a good career for him as a composer. Unfortunately, his dreams collided with harsh reality of America, where self-presentation, which he was inherently against, self-presentation was the very important lever for an individual success. Despite few commissions he got, like piano concerto, including viola concerto, and some temporary job at the Columbia University, he fell into poverty and unfortunately was not diagnosed by leukemia. Thanks to Béla Bartók, we, viola players, we've got one of the most intriguing and demanding pieces for our beautiful instrument. And now, since you know a little bit about Bartók scales, would you try recognizing a piece? Thank you for watching. See you on the concert on 24th of September at 7 p.m. Central European Time.